This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Meowmix, a Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
And on today's episode, we will be playing Panthers Santa Claus. We'll be delivering some gifts to the good little boys and men, I guess, of the Panthers organization. We will preview the Panthers at Colts game a little later on, but I think right now we no need to bury the lead. It looks like the Panthers are going to start a new quarterback Sunday against the Colts.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. The news kind of broke on Monday after, another Kyle Allen horrible performance. Even though after the game, he really did. I'm not discussing that and stuff. Coach speak. Then Monday, one of the big leakers in the NFL leaked it that Will Grier will get to start this week. So good for Will Grier. Third round pick for Carolina this year. A lot of people had him a higher pick, a project that could eventually become a starter. We'll see how well he does.
Yeah, Perry Fewell, the interim head coach for the Panthers, as we all know, had a press conference today, and he did not confirm that Will Grier would start. He said he will officially name a starter after evaluating Thursday's practice. But here's what he said. He said, "We're trying to put Will Grier in a situation to have success. We've tried to get him ready for Indy this week to play. Don't know if he'll start or not. We want him to get reps with the ones so that he would have the timing, voice command, and see how he handled the huddle and see how he executes the plays." So all but saying that Will Grier is going to start Sunday. I don't know why he's being so cagey about it.
I don't either, especially considering from the reports at practice is he's getting all the first team reps. So it's not even a hesitation on there.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't like Perry Fewell.
Oh, I don't either. I am so glad we hired Ron Rivera over him.
Yeah.
So many years ago. He seems just, I don't know. He doesn't seem confident in himself. He seems like he already lost the team quickly.
Yeah, and I read an article the other day about, and they were talking about Perry Fewell, and they were trying to be nice, but they were in the nicest possible way. They were saying that he's kind of an asshole.
I could get that.
Yeah, so I'm perfectly fine with him coaching us to a couple more losses, and get us that nice draft pick, but I hope to never see him again. I have not been impressed at all with what I've seen from him so far, and he's just not what I want in a coach.
Yeah, he's not what I want either. He just really, he rubs people the wrong way, like you said. I don't know. He seems to have a lot of coach speak, and players that aren't rallying behind him like they did Ron. I don't know. I don't like the guy as a head coaching option. He may be a great coordinator or a position coach, but head coach feel, he doesn't have it.
Hey, he wasn't even that good of a position coach for us this year. I mean, Bradbury was good, but nobody else on the secondaries really stood out.
No. Well, Trey Boston, I think, has had a really good season. But Dante's took a step back somehow.
Yeah, Dante's took a step back. Trey Boston was fine, but he's exactly what I expected him to be. He's exactly what he was the last time he was here. And that's a good player, and I kind of hope that they bring him back next year. Yeah, I do too. But yeah, I mean, Grier played in the preseason, did not look super promising in the preseason. Of course, it is preseason. He's a rookie. I really wouldn't expect him to look amazing. But he was 34-61 for 385 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. But, we watched some of these games and just came away thinking that we made a huge mistake by drafting this guy.
And then really reserved to even put him out on the field after Kyle Allen has stunk so bad recently kind of makes you worried why they didn't pull the trigger earlier, especially since you put a pick on him. Why not see what he has? So it does make you nervous, but at the same time, right now we're trying to lose anyways. So
Right. This is a perfect time to put him out there because if he loses, then really that's probably best case scenario. I mean, hopefully he looks good and we still lose. I think is probably that's what most fans probably are really hoping for.
Best case scenario.
Yeah, best case scenario is the guy, he comes out and he lights it up, but the defense is so bad that we still get beat. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Well, let's move on from doom and gloom to something positive. The Panthers have 2 Pro Bowlers this year.
Woohoo!
I'm betting everybody that listens to this show can guess the 2 without knowing. Luke Kuechly and
Dante
Christian
Jackson. Sorry. Go ahead.
Luke Kuechly and Christian McCaffrey. We have a couple alternates as well. It hasn't really come out exactly who was the alternates, but
I'm sure DJ Moore is one of them.
I don't think he was. I think DJ Moore came on strong late in the season, and I don't think it helped his Pro Bowl. But he is definitely a snub.
Well, yardage-wise, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't catch a lot of touchdowns, and he's not really a game changer, I don't think.
No. He has 86 receptions this year. So I think he's going to crack 100 receptions and probably be at 1,300 yards. The only downfall...
I think he'll definitely be at 1,300. He might even get to 1,400 yards. But I guess the NFC is so stacked at receiver, it's not a surprise that he didn't make it.
No, the top 5 wide receiver in the league for receiving yards are all from the NFC South.
Yeah.
So,
of course, 2 of them are out now, so I'm sure Godwin probably made the Pro Bowl, and he won't play.
Chris Godwin did. I think Mike Evans did too.
Okay, so neither one of them probably.
Julio Jones and obviously Michael Thomas.
Yeah, and Thomas might be in the Super Bowl, so he might get in. You never know. Just because you're not an initial alternate doesn't mean that you won't play. Usually, like 100 guys end up, cycling in and out of the Pro Bowl any given season. So
yeah, he was the only one I could think of that was a real snub.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Who else could there be? Certainly none of the offensive linemen. Probably none of the defensive linemen. Nobody's really stood out. Bradbury could, maybe an alternate. He's had a good season, but he doesn't have the flashy interception numbers or anything like that, which is always a little tough sell on the fan vote, especially. Definitely not the quarterbacks. Definitely not Joey Sly. JJ Jansen. There you go. JJ Jansen's the alternate.
Yeah, there. and you're absolutely correct. That was it.
Was it?
Yeah. He's the first alternate. It was the first time that a fan vote for a long snapper took place, and he is the first alternate.
Huh. All right. When in doubt, JJ Jansen is the answer.
It's sad. He is so solid, though.
It's kind of funny. I love bringing him up. Anytime we can give the long snapper some love, it's great.
Hey, he does an important job, and he does it well.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations to... now, let me ask you this. CMC, obviously, incredible season, will more than likely be an all-pro, even though technically he wasn't the leading running back vote receiver in the NFC. Dalvin Cook was, which I think a lot of that is because, the Vikings are playing much better than the Panthers. They're more visible, but I don't know. That still is a little weird to me. But
when you're winning, your fans come out in droves to support you.
That's true. That's true.
And I think that's a big problem with CMC not getting the first amount of votes.
That's true. He was the 5th overall vote getter in the entire NFL. So, still pretty good. Now, let me ask you this about Luke, though. Is Luke getting in more of a reputation thing? Because this year, has he been? He certainly hasn't been as dominant as he's been in years past, I don't think.
Yes. I'm going to answer your question. I personally believe he didn't have a Pro Bowl year. I don't know if I mentioned exactly this, but it's name recognition. And I think DJ Moore suffered from that on the opposite side, where you see Michael Thomas, you see Julio Jones' name, and people see, oh yeah, and click on their name instead of DJ Moore, whose second-year team. He didn't have a great first season, and his second season came on strong late. So,
and I think Bradbury also suffers from the name recognition. Even though I think he's had a very solid season overall, but the fact that he doesn't have 7 interceptions, he only has a couple, I think, and but he's shut down the number one receiver almost every week. So, but the Panthers' pass defense is not good, so he probably gets knocked for that. So, yeah, I agree. I think Luke definitely is probably getting in more on reputation, although I think he's had a good season. I think he's still top 5 in tackles. So it's not like he's...
No, he's not having a bad season. I mean, it's a bad Luke Kuechly season.
Right,
There's a difference between that.
Maybe he's not an all-pro, but he's still a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
And that's considered a bad Luke season. So, yeah, but okay. Well, congrats to those guys.
And some breaking Charlotte news happened on Tuesday. The MLS granted David Tepper an early Christmas gift and awarded him a MLS team. I know that was something he said he wanted to do as soon as he got here in Charlotte. That was one of his big mainstays. And supposedly he's going to pay, reportedly, $325 million for it. A lot more than the previous teams that have gone in recently.
Yeah. I think initial projections were it was going to be somewhere between 200 and 300 million. I think the last team was like 175 or something. It was nowhere near this.
I think it was 200 million.
Okay. But even still, that's nowhere near what he's paying. I mean, he's paying a lot of money for this team, and I think he's paying all of it out of pocket for the team. Well, he's definitely paying all of it out of pocket for the team. And then the city is putting up $110 million for some stadium improvements and I think a practice stadium or something. There's some other infrastructure that's going in that the city is putting a lot of money into. So I'm happy about it. I mean, I'm anytime that Charlotte area can get a professional sports league, here, I think that's positive, certainly for the city.
I do too. I like it. I know I'll go to games. I know people want Major League Baseball. I personally would never go to a Major League Baseball game, but soccer, sign me up. I'll go to a few games a year. I like, that type of atmosphere. That's 90 minutes. Probably 2 hours. Every game's going to be completely done. It's 90 minutes plus 5 at the end, and that's pretty much all they have.
Yeah, pretty much. The occasional, overtime or shootout or something like that. But I don't know a ton about soccer, so I'm really excited to kind of learn more about it. And, we can raise our young children to, go to soccer games and stuff like that. So, I'm stoked. I'm excited about it.
And there's also they haven't named it yet, but they've trademarked, or somebody close to Tepper has trademarked the following names. Charlotte Football Club, FC, and you'll hear that throughout all these names because that's how professional teams typically name themselves, with FC or United. Charlotte Crown Football Club, Charlotte Fortune Football Club, Charlotte Monarchs Football Club, Charlotte Athletic Football Club, Charlotte Town Football Club, Carolina Gliders Football Club, and All Carolina Football Club.
I personally like Monarchs. I think that's a cool name. It goes with the Queen City theme. I think it's a cool name for a soccer team. So my vote would be Charlotte Monarchs. And I think he is going to put it up for a fan vote.
I know you like Monarchs. I don't mind Monarchs, but
Monarchs.
yeah, feel like Mars Attack Alien there. I personally like Carolina Gliders. I don't know why. I'm fond of that name, Carolina. I guess maybe because of Panthers. You could get both Carolinas in it again.
Yeah, I wonder why he wouldn't go with the Carolina, first name as Carolina for any of those.
Well, most people know the team Manchester United. I did a little research, and a lot of teams are called United because they're uniting multiple cities for that team.
Right.
So I was surprised he didn't put out Carolina United.
Yeah, I mean that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And just because these are the ones that he or someone close to him has trademarked, that doesn't necessarily mean that these are the only options. Right?
You're absolutely correct.
So, I look forward to the fan vote. I think 2021, this 21-21 season is when the team will officially begin play in the MLS. So, yeah, exciting news. Good for Tepper. It's going to give the stadium, another tenant, which is always good. More money coming in for the team, means a better experience for the fans usually. So, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready to bring some holiday cheer to the Carolina Panthers?
Woo!
Oh.
Well, Steve and I get to play Santa Claus this year for the Carolina Panthers. We're going to go ahead and go through some Carolina Panthers players and owners and tell you guys what we would give them if we were Santa Claus. So do you want to go ahead and start off?
Sure. Jerry and I we've done mostly the same people, but we have a couple of different guys that we're going to get individual gifts for.
Mm-hmm.
So I think let's start off with the big man himself, David Tepper.
Okay.
He's sort of the Santa Claus of the Panthers. Yeah. Right?
Even though he already got an early Christmas gift.
He did with his MLS team. What are you giving Lincoln? I'm sorry. What are you giving David Tepper?
I'm giving him a rock star, innovative head coach. That's what he wants. He, especially an offensive. I'm going to even say offensive head coach because offense will put butts in the seat and make him money. So I think that's what I would give him if I was Santa Claus. And I want to see it as a Panther fan, too.
I agree. I gave him Lincoln Riley, actually. So we're very similar there. I think Lincoln Riley is probably a sure thing and exactly what you described as an innovative, offensive, young head coach who is into analytics. I think it's exactly what Tepper's looking for. So Riley is just sitting under Tepper's tree right now, just waiting. Just waiting.
All right, now.
All right. Merry Christmas, David.
Moving on, I went Luke Kuechly, the stalwart that he is. I'm giving him a great defensive coach that brings back the 4-3 defense for him.
That's funny. I have defensive coordinator who runs a 4-3 defense. This is
Great
what I
minds.
have written down.
Great mind.
Yeah, Luke obviously has done his best work every season up until this one, where we kind of switched to some weird hybrid 3-4 BS that just didn't work. So.
Yeah, and I almost gave him a nice big defensive tackle that would chew up those offensive linemen to let him roam free again.
There you go. It's a stocking stuffer.
Yeah, a real stuffer.
Yeah, a stocking run stuffer. All right, let's move to James Bradbury.
Okay.
I think we both have him. I have given James Bradbury a 4-year, $44 million contract.
Ah, we're thinking the same lines. I gave him a 5-year, $53 million contract. So yeah, we were very similar.
You've given him slightly less per year, but I gave him one less year. So yeah, congratulations, James. I think he's earned it, and I think right around that between $10 and $11 million is pretty good
I do too.
deal for him and for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, who's next?
I have Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. Why don't you tell me what you gave Christian?
I gave Christian a relaxing spa day, an all-expense-paid spa day, and a hyperbolic chamber. Because he's shouldered this offense all season long. I want him relaxed. I want him healthy. I want his muscles tender because we're going to need him next year. And I just want him to keep him healthy. And I think that would help.
I went along the same lines. I gave him the LeBron James body management program.
Yeah.
So, LeBron is taking a ton of punishment in the NBA. The guy's never injured. And it's the 17th season, and he's playing just as well as he ever has. So, if we could get McCaffrey for half that amount of time, it would be a huge success. So, yeah.
Yeah, same thought process.
Yep.
Moving on, I have Shaq Thompson.
Okay, I do not have Shaq Thompson. I feel like he just got his big Christmas present with that nice contract extension.
And I thought that, and that kind of files in what I was going to give him for Christmas.
Okay.
A giant piggy bank.
I was going to say a big fat wallet. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
All right. No problem. Let's go with Cam. How about Cam Newton?
I'm just giving him a healthy 2020.
Damn it, Jerry. I have a healthy 2020. That's exactly what I have written down. That's a gift to all Panthers fans.
Yes.
Let's be honest. That's not just for Cam. All right, well.
I have DJ Moore next.
Okay, I don't have DJ Moore on my list at all.
Okay.
So what do you have for DJ?
Kind of back to us talking about the Pro Bowl snub and, how he's really come on late. I want to give him some media recognition. I want maybe a couple articles written about him, just, how he's improved this year. He's a second-year player, and he's third in the league in yards. That's pretty impressive. With Kyle Allen throwing to you.
So you're giving him a publicist.
Yes, pretty much.
There you go. All right, well, let's move to one I know you don't have on your list. Joey Sly.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Joey, he deserves a little bit of, love. He's filled in pretty well for us this year. He's had a couple of bad games, but, Joey, I'm giving you some luggage. I think Joey's probably going to be moving on after this season.
Yeah.
So I'm giving him a nice set of luggage to pack his belongings. And we'll see you down the road, Joey.
Maybe if our kicker gets hurt, we'll call you back.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's a great one. Next, I have Greg Olsen.
Okay, I've got Greg as well. And I bet we gave him the exact same damn thing.
I do too. Go ahead.
I gave him a nice brand new microphone. He's going to be doing some broadcasting next year.
I have a nice sport jacket for the broadcast booth.
Well, together we've given him everything he needs.
And I'm going to go ahead and say my sport jacket's going to be emblazed with ESPN because I think he gets that Monday Night League.
Oh, I was going to ask you who's the crest on that jacket. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I think ESPN's probably, yeah. And I'd love to hear him actually in Monday Night Football because I'd love to get rid of the guys that are currently there.
And I don't think it's necessarily a gift because from the few times he's broadcast, he's earned it.
Oh, yeah. All right. I think maybe the other guy we both have is Dante Jackson.
That's my last one.
Okay. What do you have for Dante?
I gave him... I'm spending a lot of money this year as Santa Claus.
Oh.
I'm giving him a whole film room and a therapist.
Nice. Nice.
The film room is so he can go in there, study, and get better in the offseason. Because if he plays like he did this year, he's not going to be on the team again. He's going to be gone.
Yeah, I gave Dante a lump of coal. He does not get a present this year. He's been a naughty, naughty boy.
See, I'm trying to improve him with... I also gave him a therapist, like I said, because I think he needs to talk to somebody and not the media.
I hear you. All right, I've got one more. You're done.
Mm-hmm.
Marty Hurney, I believe. he put together a pretty good team this year, even though it didn't pan out. I think the injury bug got us, but Marty deserves a gift, and I'm giving him the number 6 overall pick. Marty has absolutely killed it with first round picks in pretty much his entire career with Carolina. I can really only think of 1 or 2.
Yeah.
2 or 3 maybe that of just busts.
Jeff Otah, but that was an injury bust.
Yeah, I mean, I think he deserves it, and I'm excited to see what he does with it. So, number 6 pick, there you go, Marty. Congratulations. Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to all our listeners, and we'll be back in just a short second. Or 2.
Hi, my name is Melissa, and I'm the host of The Haunted Ride, a paranormal and spiritual podcast. Every week I share some of my own personal stories and a few of yours as well. We talk about things from spirits to ghosts, demons, angels, cryptids, or any experience that just seems a little too weird, and you honestly can't call it normal. What if you've communicated with a ghost? You feel other people's emotions? Maybe you're questioning if you're an empath, medium, or could even be a psychic. Well, we cover that too. So join me every Monday on your favorite podcast player and tune in as we talk about all the great and sometimes scary things that happen through this haunted journey we call life. Because ghosts are out there, and if you're not careful, they will get you.
And we are back. Time to talk about the next Panthers game. Next to last, the penultimate Panthers game of the year. Week 16, the Panthers visit the Indianapolis Colts. And we will kick this off with a look at the injury reports. Panthers starting to get a kind of a longer injury report again. But we'll start with Indianapolis. The following players did not practice for Indianapolis on Wednesday. Danico Autry, Malik Hooker, Kenny Moore II, Quincy Wilson. So the various injuries there. And Anthony Walker was limited in practice. He's a linebacker for them. For the Panthers, let me take a deep breath here because it's a long list. The following players did not practice on Wednesday. Reggie Bonifant, Mario Addison, Marquise Haynes, Gerald McCoy, Garrett McGinn. There's a name. There's a name you haven't heard before. Eric Reed, Christian McCaffrey, Shaq Thompson. So Christian McCaffrey is just a rest, as usual. Mm-hmm. Shaq's listed with an ankle, which that's new. He's not usually on the injury report. Eric Reed, a shoulder, has sort of been all season with him. The rest of the guys, I think, are, Marquise Haynes with a knee, Gerald McCoy with a knee. Bonifant is listed as illness, so imagine he'd play. The big news here, though, is Greg Olsen, full practice participant.
Yeah, he cleared concussion protocol, so that's good. I'm really glad that hopefully that concussion was not his last game. Again, I'm predicting he's going to retire at the end of the season and go into the broadcast booth.
Yeah.
So I want to see him suit up one more game, at least one more game, and catch another touchdown pass or something.
Yeah, I think he'll be out there these last 2 games, barring some other injury, which hopefully will not happen. So that is the injury report. The line on this game, the Colts are actually favored by 7 points, which is a little surprising because they're only 1 game better than us in the standings.
And they've been struggling recently, too. They started out pretty hot and cooled down.
Yeah, it is in Indianapolis, so, but still, that's a pretty nice spread for them. The over-under is 46 in this game. I'm seeing a lot of predictions of under that total, so it'll be interesting to see there. Actually, Carolina is 5-1 all time against Indianapolis, which is kind of interesting because Peyton Manning was with Indianapolis for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And
then Andrew Luck. We're
5-1 against them. The last time we played them was 2015, a game which we won. Well, actually, that was a overtime game, kick at the last second, I believe. So I think we were at that game. It was raining because every game we go to is raining.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember that game, November 2nd, 2015, and I don't even have that date in front of me, but I remember that game.
I might have been cold and forgot it.
We did win that game, so I think obviously.
Oh, I do remember it. Sorry, listeners. I just clicked in my head because I remember a wide open Ted Ginn dropped the ball, and I was already walking out of the stadium because I was sitting down as soon as he threw it. I started walking out of that stadium because I thought that was a touchdown, and he dropped it.
Yep. That's the game. I just remember it being kind of miserable because it was just raining and it was cold and it kind of sucked. But hey, we did win, and that was of course the season where we won quite a bit. So obviously the big thing to watch in this game is Will Grier, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, is there any other reason for the Panthers fans to tune in if you're not watching Will Grier or Christian McCaffrey?
Not really.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see Will Grier.
I am too. That's pretty much really all that Panther fans need to watch for, really.
All right. Well, we'll be back on Sunday.
Now, let's go over some of the stats for the Colts and the Panthers and discuss some things. The Colts are 24th overall on offense, 27th in passing, only averaging 204 yards per game. They're a lot better, surprisingly, rushing the ball. 9th in rushing, 127 yards per game, and average 21 points a game. So obviously stopping the run's going to be the main focus, which we can't do anyways. And then try to get pressure on Jacoby Brissett, who seems to have taken a step back from the beginning part of the season as well.
Yeah, he started out where nobody was missing Andrew Luck at all.
No.
And he's kind of come back to earth a little bit. You mentioned their running game. Marlon Mack, their main running back, he's sort of one of those running backs that you don't hear about a lot nationally, but is actually pretty good. Mm-hmm. So he will certainly run for at least 125 yards against the Panthers because everybody does. And he's actually more skilled than a lot of the guys that we go up against. So I fully expect the Panthers, who are giving up 140.2 yards per game, 5.2 yards per carry, dead last in the league, to give up a ton of rushing yards again.
Yeah, I don't expect it to change. We just can't stop the run, point blank. Yeah. The best thing to do is just rush the passer, hope that we can slow down the run. Now, speaking of our defense, I know I've been very critical about not seeing Brian Burns out there. Now, one of our listeners emailed into the Meowmix mailbag at gmail.com and sent us a link to an article where Perry Fewell discussed it about last week, how he only had 7 snaps. Fewell said, it's just the rotation that the D-line coaches use. We tried to get him on some situational football. It's neither here nor there. Sometimes he gets more, sometimes he gets... No, your first-round pick should not get 7 snaps in a losing season. I don't care. Fewell, again, this is back to Perry Fewell not needing to be a head coach, because this is just BS, hard and simple. If you're worried about his stopping the run ability, who cares? We're giving up 150 yards already. It's not like he's going to make a big difference. What are they going to average? 157 instead of 153 yards per game?
We're 5-9.
Yeah.
Let the guy go out there and play. Let him get some reps. Mm-hmm. I mean, Bruce Irvin does not need reps. Bruce Irvin is going to get a contract next year somewhere, regardless of what he looks like the next 2 games. Brian Burns needs to get out there and play.
Yeah. And
when he's played, he looks good.
Yes, absolutely. This is just asinine thought process. Again, you said it, Bruce Irvin's going to get a contract. And, okay, he may be a liability against the run. So is the whole defense, like I've said. And what's a better way for him to actually get better? Playing.
Yeah, he needs some tape.
Yeah.
He needs to be on tape and be able to watch what he's doing out there that is good and what is he doing out there that's bad.
Oh, that time I didn't take the inside. Okay, I need to make sure I guard that better next time.
Right.
Now
Perry Fewell doesn't care because Perry Fewell is not going to be here next year.
Mm-hmm. I'm still going back to my thought that he should be fired and the players should coach.
I hope that Tepper has, made it clear that he wants to see these young guys playing this year. And I think that's why Will Grier is going to play, actually. I think Tepper may have stepped in and been like, listen, we need to see what's going on. We're going to have a high enough pick to where we could get one of these top 3 quarterbacks more than likely. We need to see if that's something that we need to pursue seriously, or if Will Grier comes out and looks like he's improved over the preseason enough to where, maybe we roll with him next year. If, you can't trade up, or if, the top 3 are picked before the Panthers pick, then maybe you wait another year.
Exactly.
And you see what you have with Will Grier. But I think right now they have no idea what they have in Will Grier. Obviously, they've seen him in practice, but
we're talking about practice.
Is different. Yeah, I mean, we saw Kyle Allen in the preseason, and he looked bad. And then the first 4 or 5 games of this season, he looked fine.
Yeah.
He looked really good. So Will Grier could come out and look just as good, if not better. He's got a better arm than Kyle Allen. So
agreed. I want to see Brian Burns so much more against the run, against the pass. I want him out there as much as possible. The guy is fast. He's strong. I want to see it. There's no reason why we shouldn't.
Yeah, he got hurt at some point in the middle of the season, and then they just forgot about him.
Mm-hmm.
He fell out of the rotation. They never put him back in.
And he's a first-round pick. That's just so stupid.
A first-round pick that had a ton of hype going into the middle of the season. He was right up there with Bosa as defensive player of the year, or defensive rookie of the year.
When we played them, I think he had more sacks than Bosa, or right around the same amount. Like maybe one going either way.
The guy should definitely be out there. So I will be very interested to see the snap counts for him after this game. I fully expect him to play 50% or more of the snaps.
Let's hope. Now, let's look at their defense and see how we match up, and Will Grier especially can match up. Now, they're 16th overall on defense, so they're pretty good. What's worse, they're 12th against the pass. So,
well, yeah, but that's not, that's that's average, right? Slightly better than average.
They're giving up 249 yards per game. So, not a horrible amount,
It could be a worse matchup for Will Grier in his first start.
Yeah, most definitely. And they're 24th against the run. So, they're giving up 100 yards per game, or 100 yards per game and 23 points a game. So, I think you use Christian McCaffrey to set up play action. You give Will Grier time to throw. I think that's just a game plan that you have to use. No throwing on first down every time this time.
Yeah. Why don't you play a smart game plan like we should have been playing all season, is run Christian McCaffrey, use the run game to set up the pass, like you said, do some play action, do some rollouts, give Will Grier some time in the pocket to pass, let him use McCaffrey as an option in the passing game, certainly as a safety valve, as Cam would say. I mean, there's a way to run this offense that is not difficult, right?
You would think so.
There's no reason to go just crazy with your packages. Like, we have a great running back. We have a very good wide receiver. And we have speed all over the place. Let's just do that.
Let's utilize it.
Yeah. I don't get it.
I don't either. Well, do you have any bold predictions for this game?
Yeah, I think McCaffrey kind of goes crazy in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think he goes crazy in the receiving game, actually, because he's 170 something yards away from getting 1,000 receiving yards.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he ends up with about 13 receptions in this game for 140 yards. I think he goes, and I think he has a pretty good rushing game too. I think he's well over 200 yards from scrimmage, but I think he's going to have a career day receiving.
Okay. Yeah, he's 186 yards away from 1,000.
Okay.
So, not out of his range.
I think he gets a lot of those in this game.
Okay. It's funny how we both were sitting there chiming in on we need to run the ball, take care of the clock. That's how we win. I think Greg Olsen has a good game.
Oh.
I'm going to have him have probably his last 100-yard game with 2 touchdowns.
Oh, wow. That's bold. But, a young quarterback goes to a tight end. I mean, that's a big guy in the middle of the field. So,
sorry.
Not
125
crazy.
then.
No, I think what you've said is great because he's only had 100-yard game this year.
Yeah.
So I think that is a bold prediction. And 2 touchdowns, Will Grier throwing 2 touchdowns is a bold prediction.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that leads us into our beer bet of the week. So with Will Grier starting, we thought we had to use Will Grier as our beer bet of the week.
Of course.
For them giving up an average of 249 yards per game, I said I think Will Grier will throw over 260 yards per game.
Think he'll go under. I think we're going to use McCaffrey a ton. I've already said I think McCaffrey is going to get a lot of receiving yards. I don't think anybody else is going to get a lot. I think they're going to go to McCaffrey early and often. They're going to run the ball a lot. So I'm going under that 260.
I'm going over because the Turner, some reason, are going to make him pass 40, 50 times this game.
You're probably right. We should have said over under 50 passing attempts. We both would have gone over.
Yeah. I was going to say we would have had to set it closer to 48.
Right. Oh, man. All right. So given all that, do you have any predictions for this game?
I've got to predict the game. That's part of our thing. I think I don't want this to happen. This is really weird. I think the Panthers win this game. I think it's going to be close, but I think we're going to win this game 30-26.
I think the Panthers... Here's what I'll say. I think the Panthers actually should win this game, but I don't think they will. Mm-hmm. Just because I think it's in Indy. I mean, I know it's in Indy, obviously. But I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Panthers will lose 24-23. And I'm okay with that because I think, I hope Will Grier has a good game and they lose. I mean, that's what I hope for.
Yeah, me too.
So 24-23 Colts.
6th round pick or six
number 6 pick. So we could actually be anywhere from the 5th overall pick to the 18th overall pick, depending on what happens the next 2 games.
Yes, exactly. That's why we're.
So that's why it's so important that we lose.
Yes. So anybody out there who says we're not real fans because we're cheering from the lose, we're thinking next year and the year afters.
We're fans of the Carolina Panthers, not just the 2019 Carolina Panthers.
Yes. As always, we want to thank everyone for listening. You can follow us on Twitter at Meowmix Podcast or email any questions or comments to meowmixmailbag@gmail.com, just like Brian sent us that article earlier, which was great. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
And that's all we have for today.
Yeah, we will be back on Monday, I guess, late Sunday, early Monday, with our recap of Panthers Colts and any other news that might come up between now and then. But until then, everybody, keep pounding. Feliz Navidad. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas.